Hello SuperCoaches, the teams are in for round 9. It is magic round, but unfortunately there is not much magic for SuperCoaches. Who are the cheapies this week? There's not that many on offer, plus David Fifita has been axed by the Titans as well. Wilson Smith, how's your team travelling?
Pretty good. I cracked 1350 last week as well,
Nice.
So decent score. And yeah, things going okay. Slowly but steadily moving up the ranks. I think I'm in to the top 30,000s now, so
Right.
slow but steady.
And how was your weekend, Jett? I know that you left out Jeremiah Nanai.
Yep, I thought we'd touch on that later, so I will get to the sore spot later.
Straight up.
Yeah, so team could have gotten a lot better if I had stuck to my guns, what I said on here on Wednesday. One of my close personal mates talked me out of it on Friday night over a few schooners at Anzac Day. So I went Mark Nwanga-Nitawase and said, I was looking good at the start, and then on Saturday night, Nana just killed it. So I scored probably just below par, just plodding. Just like the Sharks, so
Yeah, right. So big news in the teams today. I'll go to you first, Wilso. What's your big takeaway from the teams today?
Big takeaway for me is Thomas Cant is now not even on the bench, so he's a definite sell now. Not necessarily an urgent sell because he's not going to start leaking cash this week, but a definite sell.
For me, it's Sione Finau getting dropped from the wing at the Dragons. It was looking like a gold mine there, being on that left wing. Just been asked completely for Corey Allen of all people, so that hurts. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Corey Allen may end up being a cheapie at some stage, but we sat here last week and we said that Sione Finau will probably be the most purchased player of this week. Hasn't quite panned out like that. But still, yeah, a big loss. We've got very few cheapies to pick from this week. Mine is that David Fifita, not named by Des Hasler. He's been axed, we're told, so I don't know, it's an attitude thing. Who knows what's going on there with David Fifita. He was ruled out, apparently, with a hamstring injury a couple of weeks ago, then dropped to the bench. He's been playing from the bench most weeks. There's surely something bigger going on here with David Fifita.
Yeah, I'm glad now that I never got on the David Fifita roller coaster this year. And if I would just be wanting to get off. I'm not sure what his price is at the moment and how much of a loss it'll cost you, but it's just way too uncertain.
Yeah, thankfully I got off after that hamstring injury at training a couple of weeks ago. SuperCoach Plus you can pick up for $29.95 for the year. All your stats, projections, everything is in there. Or you can go the code subscription, $59 for the year. It's $1 a week. It's an absolute bargain. You get all the articles, videos, podcasts, absolutely everything SuperCoach for $1 a week. It is a bargain. Okay, on to the Sharks v the Eels. The big news is, of course, that Kyle Iro is back. Mawene Hiroti got injured over the weekend, so his run in SuperCoach is done. He's the most popular sell. He's done a good job. He's made almost 150k. It would have been more if he didn't go off at basically halftime over the weekend. But thank you, Mawene Hiroti. But sayonara. We'll catch you later, and thanks for the cash.
Yeah, it was a short but sweet cash grab. I jumped on, and I'm glad I did. But yeah, it's time to move on now that he's injured.
Yep, it was good. I'm sort of glad he got injured, just in case that Stone Street. I'm obviously not glad he got injured. But Stone Street hasn't been playing the best. I thought there was something where he could get dropped for Hiroti, but yeah, he's done great. Made just short of 150k. So yeah.
And so Adam Fanua-Blake looked busted over the weekend, but he has been named despite a shoulder injury, so we'll be chasing that for late mail. He's there. He had a groin injury the week before, I believe it was, so looks like he's carrying a couple of injuries. We will be chasing that for late mail. On to the Eels. So not much doing there. Tuolangi's not there. Mitchell Moses is the 9th most popular buy. I don't know if I'd be going out of my way to buy Mitchell Moses. What are your thoughts? I mean, he looked good on his first game back, then had the bye last week. For me, it's not a purchase so far. I need to see more.
Yeah, I own Cleary and Nicho Hynes, so I'm not really looking at halfbacks at all. He did look pretty good, but he's playing for Parramatta, but before he was back in the side, their attack stunk. So I like to wait and see a little bit more from what they have with him back in the side.
Yeah, I love Mitchell Moses, but if you have Nicho Hynes, Nathan Cleary, you don't really want to waste trades to go to him. So I'd be staying away.
Just on Mitchell Moses, Isaiah Iongi is a guy who could really improve with Moses back into the team, but he's a very popular sell this week. Find it a touch strange given that last week would have been the week to sell, given that they had the bye last round. But still, I mean, if you could go Iongi to, you can get him up to a genuine keeper, let's say Dylan Lucas this week, then I guess why not?
Yeah, I could get around. I can get around to moving off if you're upgrading to a gun, but otherwise, I'm keen to see how Mitch Moses can sort of unlock him, because he's been scoring pretty well even with the Eels struggling. So now that Mitch Moses is back, I'm keen to see how he goes with a solid halfback.
Yeah, I don't get the sell if you kept him for the bye. I think last week was the week to move on, and if you held him, I think you may as well just look and see how it all pans out.
At the Roosters, no changes for them, so Dom Young again in the reserves. I think the cheapie of the week is at the Roosters, and he's far from the best cheapie we've seen this year. Far from a good cheapie, to be honest. It's Hugo Savala. So he's set for an okay price rise, but he had scores of 20, 21 before last week's 60-odd, which was saved by a try very close to full-time, a junk-time try. This is not... on any other week, I would say don't go Hugo Savala as a cheapie, but I think he is the best cheapie this week. We might just have to go there, and the dual position flexibility is pretty handy.
Yeah, I'll be avoiding. You will make money if you bring him in, but I'm just not into it. He scored okay last week, but I think we know that he's dependent on tries for decent scores, so I'm just going to avoid.
Yeah, I've got him. I brought him in for David Fafita 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
I wouldn't bring him in if I didn't already have him.
Is he the best cheapie this week though?
No, I think the young fella from the Dragons is. But
you reckon? So you're going to go? Well, let's just talk about him now. Lycan King Togia, who is in for Lachlan Ilias there at the Dragons. He's only so you can wait 2 weeks and have a look, but you're going to go.
I'm going straight away.
Go early,
I wanted to go fee now because I need to downgrade someone to free up some cash. But then I was looking at this bloke's stats in New South Wales Cup last week. He ran 18 times, which is more than anyone on the field. Had 3 try assists. That's SuperCoach points right there. If he's going to be a busy player, playing hopefully on the left-hand side, or the what side did he?
So Flano mostly plays on the left.
I think Ilias had been playing on the right.
Okay.
But also I believe Flanagan has moved to halfback.
Yeah.
So with this change, and King Togia, who is a real runner of the ball more than a sort of game manager, I don't know which side he's going to play, but yeah.
I think he's going to base a lot more than what Hugo Savala bases. He doesn't kick goals, so there's that, but he looks great. He's got a lot of attacking upside.
Yeah,
so.
He's definitely talented. I just want to have one more look this week and see how, at least one.
Well,
maybe
we're short of options, so some of us don't really have a choice.
Yep, so that's why I'm saying Savala is probably the best cheapie, but I'm definitely going to have a look at Lycan King Togia this week. On to the Dolphins. So Herbie Farnworth is just killing it in SuperCoach. Only Garrick has more points at centre wing this year. Is he an option for you?
Not this week, just purely because I can't afford him. I do want to upgrade my centre wing. Yep. I'm bringing in Bo Firma, but if I had more cash, I would go Herbie instead. Yeah,
that's the thing. Firma is so cheap this week.
Yeah.
I want guys like Herbie, maybe even Karaz. I mean, even though it didn't go that well on the weekend. But Firma is just a bargain this week. Plus that dual position flexibility, which is perfect with guys like Dylan Lucas.
Yep.
So I think I'm going to go Firma instead.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, Herbie, you can't knock it all. He's got a low score of 55. Hasn't turned up this year, but he got 98 against Melbourne, so you can pretty much write that off as a ton. Has that bye coverage in round 12. I don't think there's any negatives to go on him.
Yeah, well, the only negative I see is the price. That's the only issue.
Yeah.
If you can't free it up, then Firma.
But you buy what you get. You buy a gun and you get a gun.
I wouldn't talk anyone out of buying him. That's for sure. On to the Rabbitohs v the Knights. So at the Rabbitohs, Jai Gray's back to fullback with Latrell suspended this week. Jack Whiten is the new 5'8". They got Lachlan Hubner back as well. He's a popular sell. I mentioned Jack Whiten at 5'8" because he's pretty popular this week. He's dropped under 400k. You can pick him up at 399k. Massive ton on the weekend. Is he a genuine option?
I really don't think so. I mean, I haven't really looked at his numbers, but I'm assuming this is the only time he's turned up so far this year.
Yep.
It's a decent matchup against the Knights, but you can't really count on him to score 2 tries every week, especially now that he's moving back to 5'8". And yeah, I'm not really into it at all.
Yeah, it's the only time he got close to a ton. I think his high score was maybe 48.
Yeah.
His last 3 scores going to that was 29, 22 and 18. So not something that you want to see for a bloke you're bringing in.
Yep, I won't be going there. And Lachlan Hubner is a popular sell this week as well. He's back this round, but he's peaked in price. On to the Knights. So Safidi is back. Adam Elliott is back as well, but no Thomas Cant, as you mentioned. So he is an obvious sell. Dylan Lucas, I bought him in last week. I'm pretty happy with it. He's got that dual positioning. Scored 63 in pure base on the weekend. So that seems like his absolute floor is that, plus any attacking stats. I know that he's not going to get too many attacking stats unless something changes very quickly at the Knights. But still, I think he's a very good option. And he's the 5th most purchased this week.
Yeah, I definitely rate the buy. He's someone I had been looking at for weeks, but just haven't quite had the cash or needed to go elsewhere. But I think he's a great buy.
Yeah, we all want to see how many minutes he played last week. Played 76 minutes, so no worries there. 47 tackles, 1 missed. It's great stuff.
Yeah, he looks good. Kalen Ponga, 7th most popular sell. So this is interesting because he is completely stinking it up, but he's dropped 250k. If you sell him now, you're going to actually realise that loss in cash. So I'll be holding. It's a matter of pride right now. Hopefully he can just make a little bit back before Origin at the very least.
I moved on 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Before he had lost money, but it wasn't as bad as it is now.
Well, that's the week. That's when you should do it. You can't do it now. He's lost too much money. And also he is on he's worth what 530 something k or something ridiculous like that. He is a genuine buy this week for head-to-head players.
I was thinking of captain him, to be honest.
Yeah. Who they got? Yeah, Rabbitohs.
Well, you got to. The thing is, if you want to sell him, you got to upgrade him. So you got to find 200k to move up to a Scotty Drinkwater, one of those guys. So, as Tom said, it's just a pride thing. So I've got him too, and I'm holding him to the death. Yeah,
you have to hold there. Warriors v the Cows. Warriors have no changes. Aaron Clark is quite popular, and he's been killing it. Eye test has been great. The 5-round average is 70, but he's getting up in price. It's almost 600k. So I don't see the point in this trade, but shout out to Aaron Clark, who is really having a breakout season.
Yeah, I actually started the year with him, but sold him after about a month to upgrade to get Payne Haas in. So, I mean, I upgraded him to Payne Haas, which I'm pretty happy with. But, he's been killing it. I don't think he's a buy, though. Just like you said, it's just a bit too expensive now.
Any Halasima love? 53 and 39 minutes last week. Named in the back row again. He was switched there late last week. Oh, if he got some big minutes,
he's just getting awkwardly priced.
He's about 413k now, so he is getting up there. But
and Dimitrik is getting some nice little price rises now as well. So hold on to him. On to the Cowboys. So Robert Darby, he is by far actually the most popular player this week, around 360k. So he's just above or on the border of being a cheapie. It is just a cash grab though, because look, he got 135 on the weekend. The projected rise is about 80k, which is good just from this week. But his average before last week was 35. So this is very short term. He doesn't play around 12. I don't hate it, but I'm going to go Savala instead for a lot cheaper.
I understand why people are bringing him in this week, but I just can't get around it. It is a decent short term price rise, but you're going to be burning through trades it's a decent rise, but if he gets 80k and you're burning 2 trades to bring him in and then get him out, for me, I just wouldn't be doing it.
If you bring him in, I think you hold him, because the Cowboys buy run excluding round 12 is awesome, so you just hold him through that buy, and then he's going to be a number each week.
Speaking of Scotty Drinkwater, big ton on the weekend. I bought him in, put the C on him. Finally got my first captain since round 1. So pretty happy with that. Look, I like it. The run's okay. So he's got Warriors who are going well this year, Panthers who even though they're going like bustards this year, you always have that worry in your back of your head that they're going to like get their defence together just for that particular week. Then the Sea Eagles, who are going okay, and then the bye. So the run is not sensational, but as you mentioned, from there it really opens up.
Yep, it was nice to see Scotty Drinkwater go 132 after all the praise I've been giving him the last few weeks.
He was on 3 at the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
And 4 of those points were from that goal kick. Yeah. So he was on -1. Really.
I was getting reminded by all my mates because I had the C on him as well, but he looked awesome. I think I said last week they don't play New South Wales until round 15, and then after that they don't play in New South Wales until round 22. So it's a massive run of Queensland
Good run
games.
for them. And I've got Jeremiah Nanai on the list as well, but I won't bug you with that anymore. On to the Tigers with the Dragons. So Terrell, no changes for them. Terrell May just smashing it, 85 minutes on the weekend. How good is that? And Jerome, look, I just need to come up with things to talk about for each team, but Jerome Luai at 350k, is there any interest from anyone?
No.
Also no.
No, okay. Let's forget about that then. On to the Dragons. There's lots of action at the Dragons. So Finau's in reserve, so he's gone from being a guy who last week we said would be the most popular player this round, has now completely dropped out of the team. Keep an eye on Corey Allen, but I don't think he has enough time to get a price rise before Tui Pelotu comes back from injury. So liking King Togia is a guy that I'm definitely looking at, but have to have a look this week.
Yeah, I think he's all go for me, but that's because I've already got Hugo Savala. I'm just running out of options, and I'm sort of clutching at straws here, bringing up New South Wales Cup stats. But running the ball 18 times, you can't make that up. So he's gonna base all right. So he's gonna score more than Hugo Savala at least.
Yeah, I mean job security must be pretty good too, given that Ilias has been.
And they just re-signed him too, didn't they?
Exactly. So, for 2 years. So I think. Yeah, he'll be an option in 1 week or 2 weeks. On to Dylan Egan. So he's a very popular sell. He's peaked. The BE is 61. He's made 230 odd K. There is a little bit of chat. I was looking at the NRL Physios podcast. Said that he was holding a hand over the weekend. So we'll chase. He also had an elbow injury the week before that. So we'll chase and see what's going on with Dylan Egan. Hopefully he's all right to go. I don't think he is a sell. Provided he's fit, I'm happy to hang on to him because if he's starting in that edge role on the left and then going into the middle, I think he's almost a play on some weeks, not all weeks. I'm very happy just to hold through this. I know he's peaked for now. Hold through this and hope for a bit more.
Yeah, I do think he's a sell, but not necessarily an urgent sell. The last 2 weeks haven't been that great for him. But I think from what we have seen from him this year, he does have the potential to put in a big score. So I'm probably going to hold this week and then potentially sell next week. But yeah, I think he is a sell.
I'd be selling Thomas Cant ahead of him and Lachlan Hubner ahead of him for sure.
100%, I agree.
On to Titans v Dogs, so no for Feeder, obviously. Haven't seen, but Brimson...
He's at 5'8".
He's at 5'8".
Yeah,
so he's Foran
not in the
He's not
squad,
there.
No.
So there was chat that Foran would be back, which potentially could have seen Brimson go back to fullback. That hasn't happened. Bo Firm is the guy for me. It's just solid at that price. Very good in the 500Ks. He's got that dual position flexibility. I actually flicked on my phone. I had the kids, so I couldn't really concentrate hard. Had my phone and put on KO. As soon as I turned it on, he scored a try. But I was looking, I just saw an edge back rower from the Titans score that try, and I thought in my head straight away that it was David Fafita.
He's got the same haircut.
He was running, he was running as good as David Fafita for that try, and I mistook him for David Fafita, which shows how good he is in attack. I know Fafita's been dropped this week, which kind of ruins my story, but still, I think he has been looking pretty good.
Yeah, and the price is right, most importantly. So I'm buying him this week. I think he's a great buy.
Yeah, he looked awesome. I just got to get Nanai in this week, so
after
I stuffed it up last week.
On to the Doggies, so they got Burton, Curran and Tupanui suspended. Obviously, Carraz, what are we going to do? He was on 30 odd at full time, then got some nice little updates there. Look, he's not going to go up, he's not going to go down. Is he still a genuine option for SuperCoach? Noting that it was probably an outlier game for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, definitely not an urgent buy. He's someone who's been on my radar, and someone I almost brought him in last week, but ended up not doing that. I'm sort of hoping for a few more performances like that, so he can drop in price a little bit, and then be a buy in a couple of weeks. But I do like him a lot.
Maybe he just didn't handle the heavy track out there at Suncorp. It was raining pretty heavily, and he just didn't really get much opportunities to run it.
Yeah, they've re-turfed the ground for Magic Round as well. So.
Yeah, we'll see how long it lasts this year. But
on to Panthers v Broncos. So Thomas Jenkins is a very popular sell. That makes sense for me. Since he's moved to the wing, it hasn't really been happening for him. So he's made a heap of cash, made 200k. So thank you very much. He can go. I sold him last week, actually.
Yeah, I think he's a sell. I'm selling him this week. That's who I'm moving on to bring in Bo Firma. So I think it's a great trade.
Yep, I'm selling him too.
Yeah, it wouldn't even cost you that much to go from him to Firma.
Yeah.
And Casey McLean, popular sell as well. So he's starting to lose cash after making a fair bit. On to the Broncos. So Reynolds has been named despite the shoulder injury. So again, we'll be looking at late mail for Adam Reynolds, as we seem to do pretty much every single week these days. And Payne Haas, most points of any player. I mean, what have we got to say about the Broncos? All their guys are peaked. You've got like Shibasaki, Jesse Arthurs, etc. All these guys, Gajewski, all these guys are peaked. So they're all sells. Reynolds, he's peaked. Like, yeah, there's nothing doing.
Ben Hunt's pretty cheap there now.
He's getting cheap.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about it in the office, if he does come and start at hooker and
he's
start
a buy.
playing 80 minutes.
Yeah.
Then,
He's only 5'8" too, so there would be potential for Jewel if he played a few games.
Yep, if he plays 3 games there. And he's already spent a bit of time there already. So we'll be assessing that for the next position changes. Onto the Storm v Raiders. So Fa'alongo has been named despite that concussion. Plus they've got Nelson Asafa Solomona named on the extended bench. He could return from concussion as well. What have we got from the Storm? I mean, they're just killing it. Ryan Pappenhausen on fire. Munster, Katoa, all of them seem to be going well. They're a team that I want to get in.
Yeah, and all captaincy options as well.
Yep.
I have Paps and been pretty happy with him.
One thing I'll say is that this is the final game of the round, and you mentioned the Suncorp surface. It's going to be a bog by the time the Storm take the field. Yeah,
last couple of years got ripped up after the first night. So that's the only reason I'm not going to captain him this week, is just because of
That's a good point.
how bad it's looked the last few weeks. And I'm not sure what the weather's like up there, if it's raining or not. But that'll certainly make it a bit less attractive.
Onto the Raiders. So Tom Starling, lots of chat about him over the weekend, mostly negative in my DMs about him getting denied a try assist. And we'll have Rob Sutherland on the podcast tomorrow, and I'm sure he's got an absolute spiel lined up. Either way, is Tom Starling a sell?
I don't own. I owned him earlier on in the season and have already moved on. He's just been a bit inconsistent. The minutes coming down as well, so I can definitely get around selling him.
Yeah, Owen Paddy has just been killing it every time he comes on, and their comeback on the weekend came a lot while Paddy was on the field. So I don't see his minutes improving. In fact, they're coming down a fair bit as well.
There's just not that many options there to really go to. Unless you've got Sandon Smith there, you can move up to hooker. I just don't see the point of moving him on to someone else there.
Yeah, hooker is not a good position for Supercoach this year, so I'll be holding Tom Starling. The bye, Sea Eagles are on the bye. What did we think of Tommy Turbo's return? It was a tough watch as a non-Turbo owner. I generally try to bring him in as soon as he returns from injury, but with the bye this week, I held off. He looked good at stages.
Definitely looked good at stages. Manly's attack immediately looked a lot better than the last month that he's been out. Everything just clicked a bit better.
Yeah.
And, even when Panthers came back a little bit, he sort of sparked the Manly resurgence, and then we went on with it and beat the reigning premiers.
I love when you pull out weed as well. It was good for a locker R2 as well, because he was Turbo was attracting so much attention out the back.
Exactly.
That a locker R2 could pull off some big attack.
He ran it 18 times too, which is encouraging. But his break even's 151, and he's got the bye, so 715k, lost 100k on the weekend. So
probably with Origin coming up as well.
Yeah, you sort of got to wait.
Yeah.
Big thanks to Wilso. Big thanks to Jett. We'll catch you tomorrow for the preview podcast. See you then.